Hello, and welcome to our latest video chat in the Money Show Expert Interview Series. I'm Mike Larson, Editor-in-Chief at MoneyShow, and today I'm speaking with Larry Williams, President of ireallytrade.com. Larry, thank you so much for stopping by to chat.
Hey, Mike, thanks. I'm glad I'm here today. Thank you for having me.
Great. Larry, you've been trading and researching the market since the 1960s. You've authored 11 books on stocks and commodities trading over the years, so you've clearly seen a lot of different market environments. I'm wondering if we can start by maybe getting your take on this market overall. I mean, does it conjure up memories of different ones you've seen from your past? And if so, which ones?
I wish at my age I could remember all of them, but no, not really. I mean, markets are markets. They're very frustrating to everybody, bulls and bears all the time. Maybe this is a little bit like coming off the 1970 bottom. Probably the closest fit would be what happened in 1963, 1964. I remember that so clearly. Maybe that's why, but the frustration of just being a huge choppy trading range for a while, and now it looks like we've broken out. So, we're now what next?
Got it. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because my next question was just going to be your thoughts about market conditions here. I mean, we've obviously had a bounce back from 2022 being a terrible year for almost every asset class. We've had this market be led by technology and until recently a fairly narrow advance. So what thoughts do you have on those topics and just, again, sort of how we're unfolding in 2023?
I am outrageously bullish and have been since the lows last year. And it continued to be. I think that, sure, we're going to have some pullbacks in the bull market, one probably starting right now in the middle of June. But will we go higher? Absolutely. We are in a bull market that will last till maybe 2025, somewhere in that area. So the Cassandras, the purveyors of pessimism will again be proven wrong.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually saw the recent presentation you had on the Stock Charts TV, and you talked about, okay, we might get a correction, but you mentioned some commentators have just seemed to go way overboard about how deep a drop can be. And I think your suggested approach was to fade doom and gloom calls rather than actually blow up your television. So as a trader, how can you do that? I mean, with some of this pessimism that's still out there, what are you advising your viewers, the people that you talk to?
Well, first of all, you don't want to listen to the perpetually wrong people. There have been people who have been saying this is a bear market for the last 50 years, in some cases, 20, 30 years. So don't listen to those people. Don't get carried away into it's all going to fall apart. It isn't. America is going to move forward. There'll be a new economy, and it'll be a good economy, and stock prices will continue to average about 10% a year. So strategy, when you see big pullbacks, you want to be a buyer. On a big up move in the market, you can take your profits, lock in some profits, maybe raise stops. But until 2025, I think certainly all the cycles that I use, and I use a lot, and I really believe in them, say we're going higher. So the specifics of a trend are back and forth, but don't be afraid of weakness. Weakness is there to be a purchaser of.
Okay, let's talk briefly. When you trade all kinds of different markets, stocks, commodities, and so on, I'm wondering if there's any particular, subsectors, specific commodities that you're particularly bearish on, and on the other side, particularly bullish on in this environment.
Not really right now. Obviously, the grains are heating up in here. I think bonds are close to a buy point. They typically have a seasonal rally about now, so I'd look for that market to rally. I think the grains have some really bullishness to it. Looks like the year of currency, the commercials have stepped in and become aggressive buyers there, so we may see some dollar weakness for a while. Nothing really pops out like here's a great trade. At this point, there's still a lot of back and for the energy markets. I really like those markets, but they're really mixed bag right now, so we really have to let the dust clear, unfortunately, and exercise the hardest thing for traders, and that's patience.
Absolutely. And that leads to my next question, which really is just briefly chatting about methodology. I mean, what are some of the most important things that you look for in this market when entering, exiting, or managing trades?
Well, first of all, don't try to buy bottoms like people have in natural gas. Just because something is low doesn't mean that it's going to go higher. That's a critical lesson. It's easier to buy in an uptrend than in a downtrend. And then what I think you're really looking for is a trend change. So you're in an uptrend, you pull back a little bit. Now, whatever signals a trend change, it could be a trend line breaking above a channel, whatever arrows you have in your quiver that say, yeah, the short-term pullback against a longer-term move has now gotten back in phase with a long-term move. So really, we're trend, anti-trend. Big trend is a big trend. Anti-trend is a little pullback. When that's over, some sign of a little that pop over is over. That's when you want to get in.
Yeah. That brings me to the next opportunity. Our viewers are going to have a chance to get to meet you and see some of the things you do in a live trading session in Las Vegas upcoming in August. Obviously, who knows what the market's going to look like at that time, but are there some sneak peeks or some pointers, tips, that you could give sort of an advance heads up about what you think you might be talking about?
Yeah, I'm really excited. And the real-time trading that I'll be doing with my dear, dear friend for so many years, Tom DeMark, we'll trade real-time, real money. I'll be showing some intraday cycle stuff that's been very successful in the market. We'll use that for some short-term trades. Then we'll show my long-term cycles. I've talked about a bull market up into 2025. I'm going to show why, specifically why I think that is the forecast. That's the path to stay on. And not just because of cycles, but because of the Federal Reserve System and the data that they've released clearly indicates to me we're going higher.
Got it. I guess that would just be one last question, since as we're chatting, the Federal Reserve is squarely in focus. I mean, are we at that point where we're going to get that big pivot, skip, pause, whatever people want to call it these days?
I suspect we will. If we get anything more than a nominal increase in rates, then I'm really questioning the Fed. They don't need to do that now. Inflation has clearly started to peel off, as we said it would over a year ago. That's happened. So I think it's time for the Fed to back off a little bit. I just hope that doesn't make the stock market too exuberant, to use another Fed chairman's term. We have to watch out for that, but that may lead to a pullback that then sets up a buying point probably sometime after July 4th. So the Fed's still going to have an effect on the market, but I don't think that they want to destroy the stock market.
Well, Larry, again, I thank you so much for your insights. We're all looking forward to having a chance to hear from you, and I know our viewers are going to love to learn from you there live at the Investment Master Symposium in Las Vegas. It runs from August 8th to August 10th. They're going to have panel discussions, coffee breaks, cocktail hours, chance to meet some of the expert traders and investors there. So do click the link in the video description below if you're interested in joining us. And again, Larry, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Just wait till you see what I'm bringing to Las Vegas. It's going to be really exciting.
I can't wait. It's going to be a great time.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care.